What if the nature of reality is like a mirror? A mirror reflects light that forms an image. A mirror has no image of its own. So, reality in essence might not have a grand plan of its own. Unless a plan or an image is given to it to reflect by consciousness. It is like the clay of a potter. The clay is there to be molded. But unless a potter shows up with a plan to turn the clay into something definite, the clay remains unshaped. If the potter is confused and has no design planned for the clay, he will end up with something uncertain. Nonetheless, the potter must use his or her imagination to form the clay into something. This is the nature of reality that I have come to understand in my quest to shape it. Consciousness is a gift bestowed upon man according to Hermes Trismegistus. God has endowed man beyond all mortal creatures with these two gifts. Mind and speech, both as much valued as immortality. That is, consciousness is forever. And it's a never-ending quest to experience more of itself by going through many experiences. How would you truly know what a lion is unless you become a lion and experience its life cycle? You can only try to examine a thing from the outside, categorize it and have some ideas about it. But you can never truly understand a thing unless you experience it by becoming it. Neville Goddard revealed this great truth to us in his wonderfully eloquent words in the book, The Power of Awareness. You know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, by comparing it with other things, by analyzing it and defining it. Whereas you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it. You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it. So, in order for God, the All-Source, to truly experience a thing, it has to first imagine it. The All imagines realms into being. Therefore, the substance out of which all that is, appears, is consciousness. Or Source shapes itself to become the thing that it desires to experience. Therefore, the life force within you that you call your soul, is Source. As Neville Goddard put it, there is nothing but God in this world. So, if Source is in everything and is experiencing everything, then the purpose of everything is just experience. The grand purpose of God is to experience creation infinitely. So, you have been given the freedom of choice to choose your own unique experience. To define exactly what you want. Because what you want is what the Source wants, as there is no separation. I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. What Jesus meant by this in my interpretation is that there is no separation between the human self and the God self. God being his inner true self. But our inner true self is greater than us because it is Source. It is on the spiritual plane. It has dominion over all. This is how Neville Goddard defined this higher self or I am in his book, The Power of Awareness. There is no real separation or gap in consciousness. I am cannot be divided. I may conceive myself to be a rich man, a poor man, a beggar man, or a thief. But the center of my being remains the same, regardless of the concept I hold of myself. At the center of manifestation there is only one I am, manifesting in legions of forms or concepts of itself, and I am that I am. I am is the self-definition of the Absolute, the foundation on which everything rests. I am is the first cause substance. I am is the self-definition of God. Simply put, it is our awakened true self. Well, the human being, the I, is immersed in this reality. It has some human limitations that are necessary for this human experience to be authentic for God. Nonetheless, the Source within you can do exactly what God can do. That is, use imagination to create its reality to experience what it wants. But it has confined itself into this vessel you call yourself to have a unique experience. It needs you to decide what to experience next. Again, there is no separation between you and your I am. It is just a higher level of you. But this higher level of you has confined itself within you in this experience to know what it feels like to be a human. Making choices and decisions to navigate and live an adventure on Earth. And since you have been given freedom of choice, you abuse it unknowingly. To make unwise choices. But it is an experience, nonetheless. Painful or joyful, that is a human experience for God. God wouldn't give freedom of choice to us if it didn't want to experience the full spectrum of human experience. Thus, almost all spiritual teachers regard this reality to be an illusion, a play, a drama, a game. Simply because an immortal is willingly fooling itself into believing it is immortal to play an immersive game. Full of emotional highs and lows. The awakened soul would not make the choices most humans make, don't you think? It is our ego, that is for better or for worse, the captain of the lives of most of us, that makes this game interesting and unique. Quite painful at times but interesting, nonetheless. But it doesn't have to be this way. As you have been given the freedom of choice. The immortal can manifest heaven on earth the same way it can manifest the misery. It does not supersede you. So, if you can become aware of the real you, you can start to thrive in this game. If you can cooperate with your I am. And imagine what you want and stay true to what you imagined, the immortal has ways you know not of. As my Father is greater than I, Jesus said. It will bring about the manifestation of the desire in a way you cannot predict. But it will be done for you. Just like your blood is being circulated for you. Your heart is pumping without you thinking about it. The greater you does the unseen work, well, your job is to imagine what you want. Your job is to exercise your freedom of choice. Choose what you want in this life. Who you want to be, what you want to experience. And then trust in your I am. As it is greater than you. And in some ways, it is truly the experience of the immortal. So, you need to get out of the way of the immortal by not second-guessing it. Your faith in your inner man, source, God, gives it the direction to manifest what you want without issues. But your doubts and indecision makes the immortal directionless. Hence it manifests randomness and usually misery in your life. As you do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. Therefore, if you are being doubtful and indecisive, guess who you are being. And it will be objectified into your life. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your ship. The immortal will not meddle with your freedom of choice. It doesn't care if you choose misery for yourself, as that is what a human is allowed to do for a genuine human experience. This is why inflated egos in this world breed misery for themselves and others, and no divine intervention is happening. Because divine is within us, waiting for us to get our act together and choose better. But we are too caught up in the illusion and do not think deeply as to why we are here and who we really are. But perhaps that also serves the purpose of generating unique experiences for the all. As most spiritual books and spiritual teachings say that once you are awakened in this illusion, you will not be coming back here again on earth. You may be presented a choice to come back to earth or to move into some other reality. So perhaps, awakening on earth means you are done here. As that marks the end of the human experience. The human ego has evolved to a point to know the real self, thus it will no longer function as a typical human would. Therefore, you have graduated. Nonetheless, the point of this video is to present to you your hidden but more real self. Your I am. Once you work with your I am by listening to your intuition, your reality will shift. It speaks to you via the language of desire, intuition, and hunches and inspiration. And it expresses to you via negative emotions that what you are choosing in life is unfavorable. So, if you only but honor its voice, you will lead a life of joy and fulfillment. So, awaken, O immortal, and know thyself.